What's up, guys? It's Eric here with another VOD review from my games in the first weekend of Shurima Cup. This is a game from day 2, so higher quality players, harder games, but we still beasted on them. So yeah, let's get right into it. This game we went to the Dreaming Pool, which is kind of a galaxy that I hate. You really have to play around it hard, and you kind of have to lock your comp in very early to get the maximum value out of it. Immediately I'm already thinking, okay, I have this set. I could potentially tailor for set. I have like this Cassiopeia and these Renekton's, but I really don't want to tailor the Dreaming Pool for Shurima. Getting Talia is just not very valuable. Like a Talia 2 doesn't do anything. A set 2 does incredible work. So yeah, I'm already thinking, okay, maybe I won't tailor towards Shurima, maybe I'll do Ionia. However, I do see that we hit a Swain here, and I know that if I put two Noxes in, I'm tailoring for either Swain or Kled. I know both Swain and Kled solid early games units, and if I can play around Noxus, I'll be very happy. I also have this JG Slam, which seems good on the Cassiopeia, so I'm thinking, okay, I can potentially just play around Noxus this early game, and we will be completely fine. And because we are playing Caitlyn, of course, I'm going to pre-level there by selling my two units. There have actually been some talks about pre-leveling, but I think pre-leveling is very good. In any case, we go into a first augment, and it's silver. So pre-level is sort of for naught. We don't actually get much out of it. I don't like 1, 2, 3, or cybernetic bulk. Inconsistency is 10 times better than each of those, so those are pretty early, easy rerolls. However, I see that we have a Sorcerer Heart. Now, I know we already have Swain. I know that. We have Noxus in, so there's a 50-50 shot. Either I'm getting a Clit here or I'm getting a Swain. Worst case, I take Sorc Heart and get a Swain pair. Best case, I take Sorc Heart and get a Swain 2 to start the game. So I say, you know what, isn't the best take here just to take Sorc Heart, play a Sorcs game. That'll make it very straightforward to play around Dreaming Pool, and it could potentially give us a Swain 2. We take Sorc Heart, and we actually get rewarded. We hit the Swain, and we hit a Karma in shop that we can just play on our board like this to get Invoker in and actually have a decent front line. So yeah, we're trying to figure out what the rest of our board is. I mean, looking at it now, maybe we should have fit in Ionia now that I think about it. We could cut Invoker here and get an Ionia, which sounds kind of good. Maybe that's best over Cassiopeia. In any case, I slam Ionic Spark here, not only because it's a really strong item in Sorcs, which, I mean, obviously I just have to play Sorcs from this spot, but also because I have a Swain too. Whenever you have a 2-star unit, it's almost always best to itemize that unit itself. So, Swain 2, itemize Swain. And we do end up picking the Irelia, so, if we hit like Irelia 2 next shop, we can play around it. But yeah, from the start, my game is quite straightforward. We end up seeing a Cassiopeia and a Swain in our next shop. So now we can just play two Swains on this board. There's also this potential idea of playing around like it's Akshan, Akshan Renekton and getting in Shurima, but I don't think that's very valuable since we're playing around Swain as our tank. And I think a second Swain is actually really solid. I would love to get Noxus in, but we still have not actually hit a Noxus unit. But that's the early game I would prefer to play for. But so far we're fighting pretty weak people. So we're just gonna win all of these fights. But yeah, I mean, this is how I played pretty much every game over the weekend. Is ideally a strong early game into just getting to late game relatively quickly and then playing around like fast 8 fast 9 strategies. I think this is a really solid way to play around the patch if you're allowed to, and I mean the people in this game allowed me to. So yeah, I end up hitting a Cassiopeia 2, and I see another Swain here, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, wait, we can very easily go for Swain 3 this game. We have 5 Swains naturaled at 2-3. So yeah, let's just hold an extra Swain and then try to potentially play for Swain 3. Also, we hit another Swain 2. We can just play two Swain 2s on our board, and it's going to be really nice. And we can always just guaranteed make 10 gold here. There's no way you're going to catch me holding this Akshan pair. It is a huge bait in this situation because, one, we have to play around Sorcs, and two, holding two pairs of 3 costs this early tends to be a bait a lot of the time, especially when you're not guaranteed to play around it. But yeah, we have a good opener here. We have this glove open, so ideally we're going to go for a JG off Carousel. I don't actually recall what we get in this situation. It is stuck on a 3 cost, so we might not be able to get it. So yeah, ideally JG. I think maybe I end up getting the tier here because I'm not able to get JG, which makes a lot of sense because it gets sniped. Yeah, and I don't really want another cloak here. I don't want to spat. So the tier is fine. The tier can be Shojin for someone later. Yeah, completely fine. Completely fine item here. So yeah, we end up finally finding our Noxus unit. We level this for the Samira. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, is there anything else that we can put in this situation? Like we could Karma for Challenger, but I don't know. The Invoker synergy seems pretty helpful. So I just decide I'm pretty sure this is my strongest board. Getting in Noxus is just, I mean, it's a kind of a broken synergy. I have Cassiopeia too. I have Swain too. Let's play around this. And most boards are going to have trouble dealing with this. I also you see I scout there and look to see what side the enemy's carry is on. I want to play in such a way that the smaller Swain takes aggro first, so that my big Swain, my Swain 2, lives for as long as possible, so that the Ionic Spark gets maximum value. Because if Swain just gets one shot, then it feels pretty bad. I finally find my first, I guess my second Sorc of the game, but my first non-Swain Sorc of this game. And I am gonna get strategist in here. I thought for a second about like, is two Swains ever stronger than strategist? Is two Swains ever stronger than like Invoker? I'm pretty sure this is my strongest board, though it's like a little bit scary because of the potential for Swain to get one shot, which I think might actually happen in this fight. I think Swain, he ends up getting a cast off, but he just dies really, really fast in this fight. So I don't know. This is actually a tough call. Maybe my best board here was just cut Karma and play two Swains, so that I get another Noxus unit in, because losing this fight actually feels really, really bad. I mean, they do have a 2-item Cassiopeia and really good Augment, so I can like see myself. I understand why I lost this fight, but like I wonder if there was a way to actually beat them. Of course, we're in Dreaming Pool. Make sure you tailor for Dreaming Pool. I say if I get a Taric here, I actually have 6 Sorc. So ideally we tailor and hit a Taric, but if we don't hit a Taric, the other option is to hit a Vel'Koz here off Dreaming Pool. And if we hit a Vel'Koz off Dreaming Pool, then we all of a sudden we have Vel'Koz pair. So yeah, I'm also holding these units to the side of my bench because I know we're gonna pivot to Sorcs here. Ideally, Cassiopeia 2 is amazing, but I need to play Sorcs the rest of the game, so might as well do it now. I get dropped a blue buff, and I get dropped a Taric, and all of a sudden, boom, we have 6 Sorkin at 3-1. And I say, wow, this is a very nice spot to be in. And then Teemo, of course, can be our next level. It's multicaster and strategist, and so really, really solid +1 unit here. We're not going to level for him now because we're not on a win streak anymore. If we were 5 streaking, I probably would. Notice also we slam blue buff on Malzahar here. Malzahar 2 is just a 10 times better item holder than this Vel'Koz unit. This Vel'Koz unit just doesn't do very much at 1 star. At 2 star, you can make the argument. But yeah, we end up actually losing this fight. And in the moment, I was like, wow, I thought my board was really strong. I'm kind of surprised I lost this. Looking back, their Warwick does have Declaw, so I can kind of see why I lost. Roll a couple augments and hit some pretty mediocre options. Transfusion 1 is horrible. I end up going for Cybernetic Leech here. I think Cyber Leech is probably the best option out of the stuff that we were given, just because, I mean, one, our options weren't that great. Two, it's going to make Swain a little tankier, and he's going to get, like, Leech value. So, yeah, like, I feel like it's probably the correct option here. So, yeah, like, because I lost that last fight due to frontline, I'm, like, thinking, like, okay, is this maybe the best way to position? Put, like, the Teemo frontline so that he actually tanks up a bit more, so that we like actually have more of a front line, because like I really just, as long as my Swain lives, we can win like almost all these fights. But like if Swain dies, then I don't know. It actually becomes quite hard, if he gets one shot. The Teemo, of course, gets a one shot in this situation, but hey, he buys a little bit of time. He's got that, I think, 200 HP shield from Strategist, so it's not the worst thing. Though it's a little bit sad that Teemo doesn't get to cast. I feel like that's the biggest downside to this kind of positioning. But I believe in this shop, yeah, we end up hitting Kassadin pair, and I decide, okay, well now I can just put Kassadin over Teemo. It's gonna give me Void and Bastion, and that's exactly what I need on this board. It's just more frontline. So yeah, the ideal board would be this, and then we can add Teemo in on 7, but once we get to 7 and 8, we're starting to think more about getting in like Demacia and stuff. So it's sort of hard to navigate it. But I mean, this is, I would say, definitely our strongest board here because it gives us that extra front line so that Swain can live as long as possible. Because Swain on his own with no tank items, Ionic's not really a tank item, is a little bit squishy. You see, like, he dies in this fight here, and like, I'm quite actually surprised that I'm 76 HP. Like, all of a sudden, I'm like, wait, I'm dying. Like, doesn't my board look insane with Sorc +1 and everything? Like, I'm pretty shocked that I'm this low in this situation. But, that's just how the fights ended up going. Fought some strong people. I see a Luxon Carousel, but I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get that. And so I just say, okay, it's fine. I'm going to get a Jewel Gauntlet here. JG is incredible item here. Also, I'm looking at this person's board. They recombobulated into an Aphelios, and somehow they had perfect Aphelios items. So for some reason, they have Aphelios 2 with Gwynsu Guardbreaker plus a sword. I was like, what? How? How is that even possible? So I'm like, kind of like, wait, this lobby looks kind of scary actually with that guy. But we're just gonna slam strongest items. I also move Malzahar towards the middle, not because to optimize his targeting, because his targeting has changed where he's always gonna ult at least 2 units if he can, but just so that he stays close to the Ionic. In some of these earlier fights, he got sort of like blocked and wasn't able to take advantage of the Ionic, which felt bad. We almost kill this first Jarvan before casting, but just barely don't. And this is the Aphelios 2 player. I see them hit this, and then immediately we fight them. But I tell myself, like, okay, this is actually like a really good loss. Like the fact that this person is Aphelios 2, and we took with like insane in slot items, and we took a 2-unit loss. Like, I'm not that mad about it. We also natural Tarek 2 here, and I'm like, "Thank you, more, thank you." Oh, sorry, bumped my plate. Thank you, more, thank you. Like, uh, this Tarek 2 is actually a huge upgrade because now we probably don't need to roll on 7 at all. Our board's actually, like, insane. We can just add a Teemo to this board and probably just go fast 8 from this situation. We already have Swain 2, we already have Tarek 2. We maybe need to hit, like, one more upgrade, like a Cassidon 2, but you might be able to fast 8 on this board. It's kinda hard, to know, but, like, I mean, this fight is just a massive Tarek 2 diff. Like, if Tarek dies here, then Darius gets infinite resets, but instead he, like, denies 10 Darius resets, and all of a sudden, like, boom, we end up winning this fight, which feels good. The only downside is we prefer to take, like, maybe a 1-unit loss here to keep our loss streak, but, you know, it's fine. Have Vel'Koz here. We also know that, remember, we're in Dreaming Pool, always gotta keep that in mind, Dreaming Pool. So we know we're guaranteed a Lux, which is just gonna come in over this Orianna. I think that's what I'm talking about here. So I know that I can add a Lux to this board. Mal's 2 versus Lux 1, it's actually kind of difficult to know who the items go on. I'm not actually sure which one's better. I think I talk about that in the situation here. And we also get all these items here. So yeah, we level for Teemo here. I think because I have so many, I don't actually know if I roll here or not. It's a pretty tough decision because we have uh, two really relevant pairs and then like one like not that relevant pair. I think I'm thinking about items here. I think I like Zizirot here. Do I go Shojin Zizirot? Oh, I go Redemption. Wait, am I a genius? Um, we go Redemption here to make Swain tankier because I'm thinking of potentially hitting Swain 3 here. I kind of like that. And then we finish out our Lux items. Oh, yeah. And I say, like, okay, I can just 3 out of my Lux and put items on Jarvan. That's actually a really interesting decision there. Um, I think because I already have blue buff, I like these items a lot, just finishing out our Mal's items. And this is going to help us save HP to potentially go fast 8. So, yeah. Wow, it's weird rewatching your own games because I don't even remember the decisions I made here. And, like, I'm watching it back and thinking about different stuff than obviously I was thinking of in the moment. Um, yeah, Unified Resistance is really good here. The other two kind of stink, so it's just an auto unified. And now that we've natural this Cassidon here, I'm like, okay, I'm definitely going fast 8 from this spot. There's no world where I need to roll here. So yeah, I'm just gonna 4-5 it. Hopefully go 8 at 4-5 and roll down and find a Lux 2. I'm pretty sure we're uncontested sorcs in this lobby, which is really, really nice. There's just so few people playing sorcs, which just I mean, I love. I absolutely love it because it allows me to do stuff like this and just play completely uncontested. I am gonna hold on to this Shen here because I know that at the end of this stage, if we keep Sorcs in, we're guaranteed to get an Ari, and so like eventually we can start to play around this Ari. Once we find Ari 2 or maybe even Ari 1, depending on how quickly we hit her. So holding onto the Shen is going to allow me to get Ionia in and play around the Ari as good as we can. But yeah, we end up fighting this like insanely strong Karma board, but like our board's also really strong, and we're both just like throwing stuff at each other's front line, and we eventually delete their front line, but it's actually crazy. It's just like Karma ulting a bunch, me ulting a bunch. Okay, so here we do natural and Ari. I don't know what it was this weekend. I was just the Ari whisper. I found so many Aris on 7 this weekend. I had a game later in this day where I naturaled an Ari on 7. And so I'm like trying to figure out, okay, like what's the best way to actually play this Ari? And I opt at the end of the day to say like, okay, I don't think I actually fit this Ari right now. I think I fit her next level. But like, next level we can actually fit an Ionia and then just play Ari over this Mal's. But like this level, I don't actually think Ari's stronger than anything because an Ari with 0 items doesn't do very much. Ari with 3 items and we have really good 3 items to put on her, it is really strong. But yeah, like Ari with 0 items, I'm actually just not even the biggest fan of. We also know that we're guaranteed, like I said, that other Ari at 5-1, which means that if we find one more Ari, then we're guaranteed Ari 2, which is really, really nice. I was looking at potentially that JG there, but then I was like, I don't know about that. I have this open rod. I'm looking at this Archangels now. Is that what I take? Oh, I was going to take Archangels, but then I couldn't get it, so I'd end up taking Sword for Gunblade. I think it's solid, and then I can just move the GS over to like Lux. So yeah, just like Gunblade JG blue buff is like Giga Abyss Ari. And I'm making Vel'Koz 2 here. I don't know when that's actually going to come out, but I decided to level here, get this Ari in, get Ionia in, and then just play this board for now. And then all we really need in this position is slightly better frontline. I'm not sure how deep I roll here. I end up making Sona 2 here, which might even be a mistake. I mean, ideally I'm going to get like Sona in over Teemo, but then how do I actually get Demacia in? I'm not actually sure. I mean, you can get in on 9, I guess, but at that point, you probably have better stuff to play. But yeah, now like I move 3 items to Ari, and now Ari is actually really solid carry with 3 items and Ionia, and she can just start chewing through these boards. I could maybe have been a little greedier here and just gone fast 9. Like I'm 63 HP. My board is not weak by any means, so like I could have just sold the Sona here and just played for fast 9. Karma's definitely stronger than Irelia here for now, and yeah, I know I can take out the Teemo, but I'm like, okay, what am I gonna put in for the Teemo? There's actually not anything. So yeah, I think at this point I'm maybe thinking about Fast 9, but I know that like it's a little sketch because my front line isn't the strongest without like a Shen 2. I think now I'm talking about that like I'm probably selling this Sona. Like I don't really need Sona. I don't know why I built this Sona. Like I can just sell the Oriana here though. So yeah, you could even probably just play the Sona over the Teemo. Like you lose strategy. I don't know. Losing strategy feels kind of bad. Yeah, we take almost a loss to this board here, but like the second I see, I'm pretty sure I say, okay, I won this fight. I'm just going 9. We'll see. Maybe I roll a little bit at 8. But like I feel like winning that fight in my head makes me want to go 9. Okay, but TFT is a game where like your decisions are always sort of in flux. Now I have Lux pair and Karma pair. This makes me want to roll more. So I don't know. TFT is a hard game, right? Because like I was just thinking I had no pairs really. Like I want to just go fast 9. But now all of a sudden I have these like really relevant pairs. Do I want to roll an 8? I don't know. Let's find out what we do honestly, because I don't remember. And we get 3 cost duplicator here. Just make 30. We get the extra Ari. And so because I have all of these pairs to roll for, I'm just gonna roll in this situation. We also find a Rise. And this is Ionia Rise, which is one of the most broken Rise. Also, now we have another Swain. We find this Scion. Maybe I would play the Rise over the Scion. I'm not actually sure. We end up hitting Swain here, and that's probably enough to stop on. I get the Rise back in, and this is my board. Sadly, I get trapped a Quicksilver as my last item, so I'm like, okay, I guess I'm making that. Also realized that I had 3 cost duplicator, so I could have just stopped rolling, just made the Swain with the duplicator, and then that could have been the end of my rolling. But to be fair, I also have the option of hitting Lux there, Shen there, so it's still like not bad to keep rolling. But yeah, I think this is basically gonna be my board. I realize, okay, the Sona's probably not doing anything. I can probably sell the Scion as well, so I sell them. And then here, Natural Lux 2, Natural Karma 2, and I'm like, okay, we are done. We are done rolling. We are going 9 here and playing around RE2. The other nice thing, like I was talking about, because we're in Dreaming Pool, we are guaranteed an RE2 if we make it to the end of this stage, which feels amazing. So yeah, just if we can make it to RE2, we will absolutely be chilling. Eventually, I think Joe Bookmark actually taught me this. He was talking about when you're playing around Ari boards late game, obviously you're playing like Ari plus Shen for 2 Ionia. The third Ionia unit he plays a lot of the time is not actually Karma. It's Set. Because Set is just going to do a lot more late game than Irelia or than Karma. You want to frontline him anyway, so he's going to die and end up giving the Ionia bonus to Ari, and he can give you Juggernaut for Atrox. So the idea is that like eventually you're cutting this Karma, we're adding in an Atrox, then we're getting in Set, and you still keep Invoker because you play around Rise. And like, I don't know, I had never actually played that version before. I end up just doing something like this, what I'm doing here. I'm just stuck with 3 Invoker, but it's actually really, really smart. So yeah, we end up fighting this Darius player here, and the really scary thing is that we have no armor on our Swain here. I'm like, if we just had armor on our Swain, we would be fine, but we don't have armor on our Swain, and so they just burn through our Swain, destroy our front line in an instant, and all of a sudden, like, wait, we actually like lost this fight. We can still go 9, but like for 47 HP, it's a tad bit scary. So on this carousel, I'm really looking for an armor item. I see this gargoyle stone plate, and I go, oh my god, please, more, please give me this gargoyle. We can't actually get it, so now I'm like, okay, what am I taking here? I end up going for the declaw here, just for another tank item onto Swain. Because I want something, and I realize there's actually like a decent amount of AP in this lobby, and I really just don't want QSS stuck on Swain forever because that is not much of a tank item. We end up naturaling RE2 here. Okay, now watching this game back, am I just a little bit of... I mean, you have to high roll sometimes in TFT. I also, I think this is pretty smart. I have to put the Ionic Spark on Taric because I know I really do want an armor item this game for Swain. So I'm going to put the Ionic Spark on Taric. He's still going to be relatively tanky because he's in the middle, so like Swain is going to tank for him, and he's still going to spread the Ionic. But this is going to give me the opportunity to put a third actual tank item on Swain. So I don't know. I think that's actually very, very smart. But now that I have RE2, I'm just like cruising. I have to be playing for a top 1 this game because, I hit an RE2. I natural 2 Rs without rolling too much, and then I got one, of course, off of Dreaming Pools. So yeah, but I end up fighting this Karma player here, and I'm like, wow, their board's actually insanely strong. However, overtime procs at the exact perfect moment, and Ari just gets to one-shot their entire board. So like I'm thinking, okay, that board actually might be some trouble in the late game. Good thing I took this declaw, because if I did not have declaw there, like I would have a million times lost that fight. I think right now I'm trying to figure out what my late game board is. I like the idea of Atrox plus Atrox plus Set, like I was talking about. I'll probably end up dropping down to 4 sorcs because this Vel'Koz is doing like nothing, and this Lux really isn't doing that much. So I'll probably drop Vel'Koz plus Lux and get into 5 costs if I have the gold. get in like a Heimer plus a Scion or something like that. I am, however, holding all of these Luxes, right? I have 5 Luxes, so I could also look for Lux 3 this game, depending on, if I natural another Lux. I think I say here, like, if I natural one more Lux, I'm just going to look for Lux 3 this game. However, like if I don't natural any, I'm not just gonna like roll it down and try to find Lux 3 here. It's also my Lux items are really suboptimal, but I mean like a Lux 3 is a Lux 3. She's still gonna like laser beam through boards. But yeah, I even opt to hold a Gwen here because I know my other option is potentially like Gwen plus Senna I could have in over Lux plus Vel'Koz. So yeah, like a lot of potential opportunities here for boards. I think I do end up just selling the Gwen plus this. I also realized that maybe we could have tailored for Rise here. We would have had to cut all the sorcs, but I think I could have actually tailored for Rise here, but I'm a dummy. I didn't actually do it. And then we would have had Rise too, which feels really bad. We'd have to cut 3 sorcs and then get in, or we'd have to cut 4 sorcs. It's like pretty hard, but we'd have to have 3 invoker in and then like less sorcs, and then we'd also probably have to cut Ionia. Like it's pretty hard to do, but like it is theoretically something we could have done if we had thought more about it. But yeah, this is actually a really really close fight, but I think Lux ends up clutching it out for us. Yeah. Oh, and we took a gargoyle for Swain just because. I mean, it's a very good item on Swain. But yeah, we're 80 gold here. I think I'm gonna opt to go 9 here. In the situation, we haven't natural another Lux. We're not playing around Lux 3, so we're just gonna push levels and try to get a better board in. The other option would be to sack 2, but I really feel like I would level here. I think about staying. Yeah, okay, so what I do here is I just level, and then I'm going to sit for a sec, because I know, like, our board's not that bad. So all we're going to do here is just level for Invoker. And the list isn't even that bad of a unit. It gives you your unit's damage amp, which is actually really nice in the late game for, a unit like Ari. And then also just, like, the 4 Invoker onto Rise is going to be really, really nice to just make him cast more, play that Spirit Tree onto the board and I don't know, CC people, heal people. It's so weird. This Rise used to suck so bad, but they actually buffed him a lot this patch, and now like statistically he's one of the best ones. But yeah, this fight keeps going like this, where just their units live forever. But I do end up winning out in overtime. But it's really about like the overtime timing. We see another Lux here, so I am gonna hold on to that 6 Luxes. I see no one else is holding Luxes. I'm like, okay, shut up, everybody. Shut up. Don't say anything. We could just hit a Lux 3 this game. It would be so so sick. Just let me have Lux 3, please, Mort. So maybe we'll get to that. Actually, to be like straight up with you, I do not remember if I hit Lux 3 this game. So I mean, it would be sick if we did, but we do not. I try to make it so that I'm not gonna get hit by this Akshan here, but the real issue is that uh they use what is that unit called? The Kicky Man. Kick my Swain off the off the board, which really sucks. Like that actually just stole the entire fight from me because I just lost my Swain because of a Sante. That's the name of the unit, by the way, in case you were wondering. I just kick him off the board. I get a Sorc bet here, and now I'm like, okay, I'm probably gonna play around 6 Sorc this game. Then it means I can just cut Vel'Koz for free. I get a Cassante of my own. I see a Heimerdinger, and immediately I'm like, okay, I need to get Heimerdinger in here. This unit's so good. I'm pretty sure Sorc bet. Okay, I'm not actually 100% sure, but I think Sorc bet might be better here. I end up making Goldinator on my turret. This is something that a lot of people have been talking about. Potentially Goldenatoring your Heimerdinger. I think actually in builds like this, where like Ari's actually going to leave a lot of units at low HP potentially, it's really good. It's just not good if you're playing around like a Lux or a Bel'Veth or something. But see like how low all these units are. Like Goldenator could actually proc and potentially kill some of these. And look, Goldenator does get a kill. So I actually think when you're playing around Ari, Goldenator is not bad. It's just you have to be very focused around what your main carry is. We end up hitting Scion 2 here, and I'm thinking, okay, like there's no way we're like bot 4ing this game, right? We end up hitting a few Atroxes, but I mean, I'm pretty sure this is just the board we play around Scion, and we're done at this point. I guess maybe you could think about getting like Lux plus Taric out for something if we hit like an Atrox 2 plus something else, but that's like yeah, I mean, it actually doesn't sound that bad. But yeah, like I'm pretty sure I'm going to win out from this position. But some of these fights, I don't know, you'll see, they end up actually being closer than one would expect. I'm pretty sure Scion should be more towards the center as well. But yeah, like we delete so many units so early. They're 18 HP. I'm like, okay, we're probably just cruising here. We end up winning this fight pretty hard and knocking them down to like 2 HP. And I don't know, maybe it's the fact. I think they hit Heimer 2 plus Rise 2 here because like these fights look nowhere near close and like I don't know, slight spoilers, but they end up getting like closer. It's like kind of scary. I'm like, wait, how am I like how are these fights so close? Like there's 3 HP. I feel like the game should just be over from this point, right? But their board ends up actually like tapping out kind of high. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I'm looking at what other units I could put in here over the Karma. I'm like, maybe Yasuo. Maybe Yasuo is better than Karma. I'm like, wait, there's no way Yasuo is better than this Karma here. Like there's just no way. And I get another Ari. Um, Itemization wise here, it's actually like pretty tough. I end up taking just like a guard breaker to finish out my Lux items, but I'd really love like a JG or something like that. But yeah, this is what I would think is our final fight. But yeah, they hit Heimer 2 and Rise 2 here. So those are their big upgrades. And all of a sudden, these fights actually start becoming kind of hard. I want to make sure that I get my guy not Cassante ulted, but for some reason they keep their Cassante like in their back line. It's pretty interesting positioning here. But yeah, like all of a sudden, like my front lines just starts getting sort of like one shot. It actually dies relatively quickly. I guess it's like the CC and slight damage from the spirit tree rise that they have. But yeah, like look at this. Like all of a sudden my rise got deleted by the hybrid turret, and like wait, I'm like I could potentially like lose this game. Like I get kind of afraid here. I'm like, okay, I need to roll down for Heimer 2 here. Also, like maybe I can just hit Lux 3 here. I'm like, I'm probably not playing around Cassante. Let's just roll and try to find Heimer 2 here. We find another Lux, but end up skipping over it just because I want to find something because I know this is like our last fight. Um, Whoever wins this fight is going to win the game. So I position like this and then put Ari in the center here, which I don't know. In hindsight, I don't know if this is actually correct because she is going to be more susceptible to getting getting hit by Karma ults here. Get a big Ari ult off of there. We just barely kill the Cassante in time. And the big thing is just this Swain being alive and in front of my Ari. Because last fight, Ari ended up dying first, getting killed by the turret. But here, Ari is alive in front of this Swain. She gets down to like 2 HP, one more big cast, and then we actually end up winning the fight. It was so close. The end of this game was actually crazy. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. Check my Twitch and all my other links down below.